Hello YouTube, how you doing? I got my newest project here in front of me. I just acquired this saw about a week ago. It came from eBay. It was a good deal, good seller, good price, thumbs up, cool saw. It's not the most common model. It's not like it's rare, but they only made them 1 year, I believe. So Mac 440, 87 cc's. Big old torque monster. Heavy as hell, but they're cool stuff. So snatched it up. More than happy to have one. I used to have one similar to it, and it was like this one. The damn thing wouldn't run. So this thing here, I won't give you the long version of it, but wow, this thing was frustrating. But I kind of like them when they're not easy to figure out, because you actually learn something. What's kind of unique about these saws is they have a right-hand start on them. So you basically spin the clutch side as opposed to the flywheel side. And the other thing is they have kind of notoriously bad carburetors, which isn't really a good thing, but not impossible to bypass, and by bypass I mean like replace. So this is the old, they call them a flatback, and they were made, I guess, by McCulloch, and they were on a lot of saws of this era of the early 60s. And at the time when they were new, they were really cool. They worked really well. They had a primer system on, so they were easy to start. But there's O-rings and gaskets in this primer that get old and wear out. And that's what I thought the problem was on this. So I got this saw, a couple pictures of it. So yeah, cool. That's definitely a 440. They've got, at the time it was fancy. They've got an automatic oiler on it. And, like I said, loads of torque. So, big, powerful saw. So yeah, sure. I jumped at it, bought it. Yeah, I'll take that, no problem. And of course, you get an old saw, most of the time when they're like 60s, they don't run. They're not going to run. You're lucky if they do, especially if they got these older stuff. You get something with an HL carburetor on it, or, a Mac carburetor, like it's probably not going to run right off the hop. You're going to have to work on it. So I was totally prepared for that. So this one here, my God, we couldn't get it to start, couldn't get it to fire up. It had spark. I checked everything all, and I swapped out the ignition for one that I know worked. Still couldn't get it to fire up. Went ahead, changed out the carburetor for an HL. This is an HL 63B. Came off of, I think it was a spare 142 that I had. No, that wasn't working either. Geez, what the heck's going on here? Is it is the reed stuck? Because it's just like it wouldn't fire up a prime. You'd get like one little flash and then that was it. Oh, this is really weird. There's usually only a few reasons why a saw won't fire up, and it's usually low compression. And I did a compression check. It had 130. That should be enough to run. It's not amazing, but it should be enough to run. The top end looked good. The rings looked good. So it didn't look like it should be a low compression problem. With the spark working, and the timing is fixed, so it's not like you can adjust the timing on. It's not like the timing was off, so it's firing right. Geez, what's going on? And I thought about the basic principles of a two-stroke engine. They're basically an air pump, so they have to basically be sealing the intake, as you're exhausting. So on these old saws, what seals the intake is a reed. So the reed valve opens and closes with the pump, the piston movement, basically, as it's creating low pressure and then combustion and then exhausting. So I was all ready to start tearing it apart. So I went into it, pulled the clutch off. The clutch was hooped on it too. Actually, the spring that was on it was broke. So I'd say at some point somebody tried to probably turn the clutch off, which is exactly what happened to me the first time I ever got one. These ones have a keyed clutch, so they slide on kind of like a flywheel. They don't turn off. So probably whoever tried to reef on it to turn it off, and they broke the spring. So whatever, no big deal. I got a spare clutch. Took the clutch off, getting ready to tear it. I'm gonna tear it apart. So basically, was gonna really get into this, and as soon as I took the clutch off and I looked in, I was astonished. I thought, what am I looking at here? That is the bearing. I can look right down through the shaft of the bearing. So Jesus, there's the seal is like missing or damaged or something. I've never seen anything like this. I don't know how that would happen, but there's the problem right there. So talking you gotta have a sealed crankcase or a sealed intake, for a pump to work. You imagine having a big hole in the side of a pump. Well, it's not going to pump, so that's what's going on here. So, great. I learned something. I found, the problem, and really, I've had bad seals where it would run lean, but I've never had the seal missing. So that's, if you're ever wondering what would happen if you didn't have seals, well, it may not run if you had a big enough air leak, which is the case here. So cool, great. So happy I figured that out. And now I have a really fun project, so I'm actually pretty happy about this. Most people would be, maybe upset about that, but I'm actually happy about it. I bought this, knowing it was going to be a project, so awesome, cool. I got what I was looking for. So I'm gonna take the saw apart. I just bought a set of rings for it, aftermarket Caber rings. I hope they fit right. They are spec'd for this piston, so that's pretty cool. So it's getting a new set of rings, new oil seals, all new fuel system is going to be all updated on it. Everything's going to be all cleaned up, fixing anything that needs fixing, and yeah, we're going to put her back together and run her. So here's the next project, McCulloch 440. Next videos that I have on it will be maybe when I get the saw apart, and if there's anything unique about it, that I'm learning along the way, I'll be sure to share it. Okay, cool. Thanks for checking out my video, everybody. See you next time.